Hey everyone, this is Andy from Sienci Labs. Today we're going to be talking about the Sienci Labs Dust Shoe. So, once you get your package, these are all the parts you're going to get for your dust shoe. So we'll talk about each one. First, we have the dust shoe itself with the brushes, a pair of knobs, a set of M5 8mm screws, an M4 screw as well as an M4 nut. We have a set of 20 by 20 aluminum extrusions, a set of T-nuts. Just so you know, depending on the profile that you get of the extrusion, you might get a slightly different T-nut, but they work basically the same. They look kind of like this. Put those aside for now. And then you'll get a steel backing plate. Your kit's not going to come with the Allen keys, but you will need a set of metric Allen keys to put everything together. That's going to be a 2.5, a 3mm, and a 4mm Allen key. It's probably just good to have a full set of Allen keys. Alright, so we're going to put this thing together. We'll start off by putting the M5 screws in the back and putting the T-nuts on. Just so you know, there's going to be a flat side and a not flat side. I like to put these ones so that the divot is sticking out towards the plate, and that kind of helps keep things in line once you put the extrusion on. Doesn't really matter which way they are, it's just kind of a personal preference for me. Alright, so we're going to line up the T-nuts, and you want to make sure that your backing plate is in the right orientation, just like in the video here. And yeah, we're going to put in the 2020 extrusions, slide them on. You might have to loosen the M5s if you've tightened them down too much, but they should slide on pretty easily. And I'm going to line everything up gently with my finger against one side and tighten the screws down here. You want to tighten them just lightly so they stay in place, because we are going to probably adjust them after we put the dust shoe on. Cool. And doing the other side here. There you have it. Alright, let's get to the dust shoe part. First we're gonna take each knob, put it through the front, just like that. Put the T-nut on the other side. Just like that. Really easy. Go on the other side. And putting it onto the aluminum extrusion is pretty much the same process as we did before. Lining up the T-nuts, just gently sliding everything into place. You might find it's a little bit tricky the first few times around. You might have to put a little bit of force to push it down, but it should go in. And you want to kind of give it a couple slides and, you know, see if you can get it to slide in well. As we mentioned before, you can loosen the the bolts on the back, kind of get the extrusion lined up a little bit better, and kind of fiddle around with it until you get like a relatively smooth motion there. Alright, so let's go into putting the dust shoe on. You want to move the Z-axis up as far as you can. This helps with the assembly. You want to make sure you're doing this on a machine that you've put together already, otherwise you run the risk of losing your linear glide blocks. Okay, so take a pair of pliers and an Allen key. We're going to take the two bottom M3 screws out because we're going to use them to secure the dust shoe. So it's a bit finicky, but you can get your pliers in there and you can loosen it off with your Allen key. And you can see if you've done this for a long time, you get super speed. Alright, let's do the dust shoe. Pull off the dust shoe for now, it just makes it a little bit easier to navigate. You want to put the backing plate just right up against the back of the x-axis, and that middle hole on the backing plate as well as on the x-axis you can put your M4 screw in, and that will hold everything kind of lined up in place, so we're going to be able to put the M3 screws back on the linear guides after. So there's me putting in the M4 screw, and then we're gonna put the M4 nut on the back, tighten everything down. And I'm not gonna tighten everything down super well at this point, because we want to be able to wiggle the backing plate a little bit and line it up with the M3 screws. And we're gonna start to put the M3 screws back. So you need your M3 screw, you need the washer that's gonna space it out to keep your linear block from falling out, and repeat the process. Put those back in, gently tighten those down, do the opposite side. And yeah, if you need to tighten, like I would just do everything loosely and tighten it down. And we're gonna put the dust shoe in. And it's a process that we did before. You line up the T-nuts, you line up everything else, and you gently slide that dust shoe up. Now you can use the knobs on each side to basically keep that in place. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There you have a dust shoe put onto your LongMill. Beautiful. Alright, so we're going to do a quick demo, and we're going to show you how to set it up for a milling operation. You want to loosen off each knob and lower it just above the material. You want the brushes basically touching the material, and the brushes obviously will flex a little bit to keep a good seal. But you want to drop that down first, and we already have the Z-axis set up with the material, and then you basically can put in a standard 1.25 inch hose, and we put a little bit of electrical tape to get a little more secure. Alright, so we're going to start the job. Gonna start cutting. And yeah, just watch the magic happen. So one of the big advantages of having a dust shoe that has an independent Z-axis is that the dust shoe will always stay right above the material, rather than moving up and down with your Z-axis. So throughout the whole job, your dust shoe is going to keep sucking dust up rather than stopping and starting every time your machine moves up and down. And you can see that we do have some particles coming out, but most of it is fairly heavy stuff, so it's not going too far away. All of the light stuff is being carried away by the dust shoe. And yeah. We're actually just making a washroom sign for our new office right now. So we're using some pine, and we have a 1/4 inch end mill running at about 20,000 RPM. And this is about a 15-20 minute project. And there you have it. You can see that there's debris around the edges, but it's easy to just pull off your vacuum and just clean the rest of it up. And that really saves a lot of time for cleanup. So there you have it. That's the Sienci Labs Dust Shoe.